Are you trying to establish your brand as a thought leader? Start a podcast, invite industry experts to be guests on your show, and watch your brand become the prime resource for decision makers in your industry. Learn more at sweetfishmedia.com.
You're listening to the B2B Growth Show, a podcast dedicated to helping B2B executives achieve explosive growth. Whether you're looking for techniques and strategies or tools and resources, you've come to the right place. I'm Jonathan Green.
And I'm James Carberry.
Let's get into the show.
Welcome back to the B2B Growth Show. We are here today with Mike Kostow. He is the SVP and GM at Salesforce Pardot. Mike, how you doing today?
Good, James. How are you?
I am wonderful. So, Mike, I'm really excited to chat with you today. We're going to be talking a lot about really the key focus areas for B2B marketing in 2017 that you and your team are going to be implementing at Salesforce. But before we get into that, you're on the Pardot product. And so I'd love for you to tell, maybe the handful of listeners that aren't aware of what you guys are doing, what is Pardot all about?
Sure. And so first of all, James, thank you for giving me the time with you and your listeners here. And just a quick intro on me. I am the SVP and GM of Salesforce Pardot. I have been with Salesforce for now over 7.5 years in multiple different roles. The last 3 focused on B2B marketing automation. And I've got about 20 years in enterprise software. So I've been in the market for quite a while.
Love it.
And Salesforce Pardot, to your question, for those of your viewers who are not familiar, is B2B marketing automation by Salesforce. How are you generating demand from your prospects? How are you nurturing those prospects through to buying? And how you bring your sales and marketing teams together to drive revenue results.
I love it. Awesome, Mike. So we've got a lot to cover in this episode in talking about Salesforce's key focus areas for B2B marketing this year in 2017. This first one that we're going to talk about is around sales and marketing alignment. I'll start by, with each of these key focus areas, having you explain kind of the why behind each one, and then we'll talk about the execution of it and how you guys are actually, implementing this. Sure. So first, why is alignment at the top of this list?
Yeah. So, I have the good fortune of getting out and talking to marketing leaders across the country, actually across the world. Just in London meeting with some of our customers last week. And it's really interesting. The last couple of years, the buying process for B2B has fundamentally changed. And by the time prospects are coming to you as a marketer or a salesperson, they're 80% of the way through the buying process.
Yeah.
Right? People are doing their research online. They're talking to their friends. By the time they engage with someone or your website or a sales rep, they've already pretty much figured out what they want to buy, yep. Which makes those interactions that you're having with those prospects even more important, right? Because they're ready to buy, they're ready to move. And those interactions that you're having need to be aligned and consistent across your sales and marketing channels in order to convert those prospects into customers.
Okay.
And I look at a great customer of ours who's a good example of that, Stanley Black & Decker, who you may or may not know is a $10 billion plus storage, security, and tools company. And many people think of Stanley Black & Decker as a B2C company, right?
Yep.
You go and buy one of their tools online, maybe on Amazon. But in reality, they're also a big B2B company, right? They're selling those products through stores and hardware stores, as an
Home
example.
Depot and Lowe's.
Exactly. And, they use Pardot across their sales and marketing teams to sell their products to these stores. And by using Salesforce Pardot together, they've been able to see a 30% reduction in their sales cycle. And they point back to, the reason for that success is because they brought their sales and marketing teams together on a single platform.
I love it. So obviously sharing that story is helpful to kind of get the picture as to why this is such a focus for you guys. But internally, what are you guys doing at Salesforce to really align your sales org and your marketing organization?
Yes, good question. So having your sales and marketing teams working out of a single solution on a single platform allows you to take all of those interactions that your prospects are having across these different channels and turn them into something that is actionable, right? And so you have your prospects interacting on your website. Then you have your prospects talking to a salesperson. And unless you're on a single platform like Salesforce Pardot, it's very difficult to take all of those interactions and turn them into something that is actionable. And that's what Salesforce Pardot does, is it brings sales and marketing together on a single platform and turns all of those interactions into something that drives revenue results.
From your perspective, Mike, are there specific things that you've seen, maybe reports that you've seen your users running that leverage the fact that they're using a single platform for both on the sales side and the marketing side that have really helped kind of glue the two organizations together? Or is it more just kind of everybody being able to access the same data, or are there specific use cases that you
I think it's a good question. And by having sales and marketing together in a single place, we have the power using our platform to be able to report on which campaigns are generating real revenue, right? So we can see the dollars that have been spent on a marketing campaign and then see the results of that campaign all the way through to customer acquisition, right?
Yeah.
And that's very difficult to do if you don't have sales and marketing together in a single platform,
Yep.
right? Running reports on what's happening with your marketing efforts, and then you're trying to tie it back together with what's happened in sales, and that's difficult to do. But to your question, by bringing it together in a single platform, you can see what happens throughout from a campaign from inception to completion.
That's great. Love it. Mike, the second focus area that you guys are really focusing on in 2017 is sales empowerment. Talk to us about this one.
Yeah. So, as I said before, that B2B marketing, cycle has fundamentally changed. And, the B2B marketers that I talk to now have 3 different constituencies that they have to cater to. They've got the customers and their prospects that they're trying to convert, into buyers. They have the C-suite because, CMOs and VPs of marketing are now more often than not tied to pipeline and revenue goals. I certainly know they are at Salesforce, and I know the prospects and customers that I talk to are as well. But the third of those constituencies is sales. And, more and more, it is important for sales and marketing teams to work closely together to drive revenue results. And how we look at that is how are we taking the best of marketing automation capabilities and putting them in the hands of salespeople. And we have a product called Salesforce Engage, which takes those capabilities of marketing automation, puts them in the hands of a salesperson, and lets a salesperson do their own marketing.
Okay.
And lets them do it in a way where it's within the brand guidelines of the marketing organization.
Okay.
But gives them the flexibility that they can put a prospect into a nurture campaign. They can do one-to-many emails. And what's really exciting is that they can see in real time how prospects are interacting with their content on a website. And when they actually talk to that prospect, they can have a much more relevant conversation because they know what that prospect is interested in.
So you said they can load up one-to-many email campaigns. Are they able to do kind of one-to-one I've seen a lot of tools pop up recently that allow you to do kind of one-to-one email, but
yes.
In bulk is that, so that tool that you're referring to does that as well?
It does that as well. And what's great about how Salesforce Pardot approaches this is that we're doing it in a place that salespeople work every day. And salespeople, more often than not, and I may be biased in this, James, work in Salesforce. And, these capabilities that we've built exist within Salesforce. And so a salesperson doesn't have to leave the place where they work every day in order to do all the things we talked about, right?
Yep, that makes
Do
sense.
those emails, track them and see how customers are interacting, view those real-time alerts and have a relevant conversation. And drop prospects that they're talking to into a nurture campaign if they're not ready to buy yet.
And so are those campaigns typically created on the marketing side of the house to ensure kind of that messaging is where it needs to be? Or is that part of the empowerment piece how much of that is given, or how much control, I guess, does the salesperson have around the messaging and the specificity of what's going into these emails that they're sending out versus, using templates built by people on the marketing side?
Yeah, that's a great point. And, when I talk to marketers, They're excited, but potentially a little cautious about this because they want to have control over what those salespeople can do with that messaging. And so we've given marketers the ability to control those templates that those salespeople are using, the content that is in those templates, and the number of emails that they're able to send on a daily basis. And they can decide how much flexibility they want to give to the salesperson or sales team to do that marketing themselves.
Okay.
And for some, they're very comfortable based on their relationship with sales and how they empower them. And for others, they are more guarded and want to keep more strict guidelines around how they control the brand and the message. And they're going to give them a set of templates that they can use. And we found effectiveness with both of those. A great customer of ours, who's using Salesforce Engage, Valpak. And I think, James, you know them. They've got a big presence, or you should. They've got a big presence in Florida.
Yep.
But they're the ones who are doing those coupon books that you see. They've also got a very big digital business. And, they're using Salesforce Engage to empower their salespeople to be able to do that marketing themselves.
I love it. All right. So this third key focus area for you guys, Mike, is around AI. And obviously there's a lot of people talking about artificial intelligence. Talk to us about the why behind AI being so important for Salesforce right now, and then talk to us about kind of what the execution of that looks like.
Sure. I would agree with you with your first comment that there are certainly a lot of people talking about it right now. But I don't think anyone has delivered as much in the last year and a half as Salesforce with Einstein, where we've taken the power of AI and put it into the Salesforce platform and made it available to all of our customers. And for B2B marketers, there's a huge opportunity for them to really take advantage of this innovation around AI. And one of the things I'm most excited about right now is something called predictive lead scoring.
Okay.
Where we can actually look at how leads have converted in the past using machine learning and be able to prioritize those for salespeople. So salespeople can now use not just typical scoring methodology and rules-based methodology, but they can use machine learning to prioritize their lead queue. And so when they come into the office every day, they can decide or prioritize those leads which we know have the highest chance to convert. Based on AI, and so that's been a big focus of ours over the last couple of months, and we're really excited to bring that to market.
I love it. So this last one, Mike, that we're going to talk about is account-based marketing. This is another topic that we have been talking about a lot, in particular on this show, and as well as my Huffington Post column and the other content that we put out. Talk to us about what has ABM looked like for Salesforce. Why is this such a key initiative for you guys, and how are you guys executing it?
Sure. And ABM means lots of different things to lots of different people. When we think about account-based marketing, we look at our customers and how they can take the power of Salesforce Pardot and point it towards the right accounts to drive conversion to revenue. And as I talk to our customers, they're using Salesforce Pardot to run campaigns specific to these large customers. They're delivering personalized web content, to those customers via these campaigns. And then they're able to track the effectiveness of those campaigns to those accounts, and then be able to make informed decisions on whether or not those are the right accounts that they should be targeting, and be able to replicate that process. And so, for us, ABM is definitely a strategy that our customers are employing, and we're seeing a lot of success of our customers in being able to do that.
Obviously, customers using, having sales and marketing in one platform, making ABM that much easier. Is there a particular element of ABM as you guys have been executing it yourselves that you found more challenging than other elements of it? Is, initially breaking into new accounts, or, identifying what accounts you should be going after in the first place? Is there a particular challenge as it relates to ABM that you guys have been able to overcome as a business?
So I think of this, James, as the challenge is really for our customers to understand what they're trying to accomplish.
Yep.
And as I talk to customers about ABM, the question I often get is, what do you guys, you being Salesforce Pardot, do for ABM? And I end up turning that question back around and saying, what are you trying to accomplish? And so I think getting everyone on the same page and aligned around what they're trying to accomplish and what their business objectives are, and then seeing if ABM is a strategy that they should employ to do that is really the first question I'd like to answer, right?
Yeah.
And if that's something based on the fact that this company is going after large enterprises where they need to have an account-based strategy, we've got the technology to do that. But again, to me, it goes back to what is the foundation, which is what are you trying to accomplish? And is ABM an effective tool for you to get there?
Got it. Is that the primary kind of determining factor, Mike, that unless you're going after enterprise accounts, ABM is likely not the path you should be going down, or are there other kind of factors that play into that?
I think there's others, but that's from the Salesforce customers that I talk to, that's a pretty significant set of criteria, which is if you're targeting large enterprises and you're pointing your marketing efforts towards those large companies, you need to market to those accounts and the buyers within those accounts in a targeted way. Versus if you are going after, smaller companies and a different demographic, then I think you would employ a different strategy that would likely not be ABM. So I don't want to say it's the only thing, but it certainly is a pretty big filter for how you would consider using ABM.
That makes sense. Mike, this has been fantastic. I really appreciate your time today. If there's somebody listening that wants to maybe dig deeper on these, connect with you, what's the best way for them to go about doing that? As well as if they want to learn more about Pardot, how can they do that as well?
Sure. You want to learn more about Pardot, check out our website, www.pardot.com. Lots of great information on our product, our services, our support. If you want to, please follow us on Twitter at Pardot, Pardot. If you have questions for me or anything that I can answer from this interview or anything else, please follow me on Twitter at Mike, M-I-K-E, Kostow, K-O-S-T-O-W.
Love it. Awesome, Mike. Well, thank you again so much for your time today. This has been fantastic.
Thanks, James. Good to talk to you.
To ensure that you never miss an episode of the B2B Growth Show, subscribe to the show in iTunes or your favorite podcast player. This guarantees that every episode will get delivered directly to your device.
If you or someone you know would be an incredible guest for the B2B Growth Show, email me at jonathan@sweetfishmedia.com. Let us know. We love connecting with B2B executives, and we love sharing their wisdom and perspective with our audience.
Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.